Yeah.
And here we go.
Go,
Here we
there we
go.
are. We're there.
Go. We're in. We're there. How you doing, Chris? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, Carl. I'm fine, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a, a very busy few days for me.
Yeah, I see you've been out and
With
about.
my main job, second job, and then non-league football on top. But anyway,
Yeah.
happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday to you, Chris.
Cheers.
Absolute pleasure to get you on this because this has been a long time coming. You and I had a look back, right? So
Mm.
I was at your game. I was at Wilkes Park back on the 25th of January. That
Yeah,
feels
it's
like a
been a while.
lifetime ago now.
Yeah, it does feel a while, especially we've had a couple of Saturdays now. Well, hopefully this Saturday might be okay, but we've had a weekend off and a Tuesday off. So, and this Saturday has been put in doubt, like you said. We've had an email from the league awaiting a decision tomorrow. They pretty much give the clubs the license if they feel it's unsafe to play. So who knows?
I think people need to be sensible, don't they?
Yeah,
Because it's quite clear it's going to be pretty bad, isn't it? They don't issue these weather warnings out that often at all, do they, in England or the UK
no,
for that fact?
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
But
So fingers
anyway,
crossed it's bad.
yeah, absolutely. So anyway, everyone, we're here to talk about football. We're here to talk about Flackwell. We're here to talk about the man himself, the guest tonight, Chris Ayres, the manager of Flackwell Heath. So, Chris, let's go back to that game. I was there, actually. I said it was a few weeks back, but it was a resounding win, wasn't it, over Broadfields United that night? The boys, 4-1 win at home. It was actually not a bad midweek crowd. It was over 100. And Josh
Yeah,
Oliver, the young lad, put in a
yeah,
blinding performance. He scored 2 goals that night.
yeah. No, good. We played. We've got a couple of young lads now that we're starting to blood and to put in. They've been with the group now, training with the group. And yeah, they played little parts, and it was the night we thought, right, let's give them a go. And yeah, and Josh came up with 2 goals. He's a terrific player, great talent, but he's a lovely lad. He wants to learn, and he fits in well with the group. And it's just managing the young players, really. We've got a couple of others, and just feeding them in, now and again, and then hopefully come next season, if they've not moved on to better things, then they could be a big part of us.
Absolutely, Chris. I mean, it's the first time in a while I've been able to see Flackwell play. I've never been to Wilkes Park before, but I'd seen Flackwell
Yeah,
away. But I was so impressed by the talent in the squad. As you say, there are some very, very young players in there already playing Step 5 football for you.
yeah.
What a future some of these lads have.
Yeah, definitely, and not just those young boys. There's the 18-year-olds. Obviously, we've got a young lad from the youth team now, Jack Timberlake, who's been involved. He's only 16. And to be fair, the other boys, I mean, when you look at them, they're only 20, 19, so they're still quite young, but they've had that experience of a couple of years. But yeah, it's going well, and we're going to give youth a chance. That's the way we want to go forward. And we know we need experience, but we want to have the youth and try and play the right way, so people come and enjoy their day out or their evening out.
Exactly, and as we see in football, all levels, if a club is doing well, you find the players actually tend to stick around. A lot of them, don't they? So
Yeah,
let's hope
they
it's
love.
bright.
Yeah, they love the environment. They're a great group. They're just really close knit. It's something that really I've not had to really do much with. Really, they've taken that on themselves, and a couple of the older boys have been fantastic with them. And yeah, they're a special group. They've got a great bond, which carries a lot on match days. Definitely.
Cracking stuff. So you mentioned it right at the beginning. Obviously, you guys were due to actually have a cup game against Ardley, wasn't it, midweek?
Tuesday, yeah.
Obviously, and obviously the rain, like many games, obviously called it off. So your actual last game now was back on the 5th of February. Is that right?
Yeah, that was right. London Colney away. Yes. We just previously, before that, we'd lost to Risborough in a
Close
really.
game.
Yeah, and it was. I thought that we really showed that we can compete with the best teams in the league, and we felt we was very hard done by on the day at the end. We felt we definitely deserved a point out of the game. And I suppose the difference with them is they're obviously far more experienced than we are, and they know how to win games. But we came away learning a lot. I mean, their goalkeeper is an absolute weapon. I mean, he kicks the ball, he gets them up the pitch, and it works for them, and they're experienced at winning games. So we were really disappointed in that. And then obviously it came to London Colney away. And again, really difficult conditions, windy. The pitch was probably not the best the pitch is. But we won that day by learning how to win, and say we kept a clean sheet, which has been great. And we nicked a goal, and we deserved to win, really. So it was great to bounce back, and then we want to try and continue our run, but unfortunately the weather has curtailed that.
Yeah, it has, unfortunately, hasn't it? Because you have been on a bit of a run. So I had to look back at the results recently. So the last 5 games, Rich, the boys, yourself, you've actually won 3 out of 5. That's not bad form, is it?
No, it's really good. And to say we've only lost to 2 teams in the league this year, and that's New Salamis and Risborough.
That's not bad, Gary. It's not bad.
Yeah, so we're really pleased. And we've competed with them in those games. All 4 games we played in those games we've lost. We've only lost by 1 goal, so we've been in the games. So yeah, it's a testament to the boys how far they've come.
Cool. So that's the sort of the recent form, and obviously you mentioned playing against some of the big boys. So at the moment, Flackwell's sat 8th in the table, but the table was a bit misleading.
Yeah,
because Flackwell have got pretty much 3 games in hand on most of the teams above.
Yeah.
So, how do you analyse the season so far? I mean, we are still obviously in February. There is still a lot of games still to go. Course, at the moment, I'm probably guessing you're happy as manager.
Yeah, we are. It's funny enough. Obviously, you were one of the questions, and I've thought about it in the week, and I think personally we could be 6 points better off. I think with a little bit more luck, and I think we can all say about referee decisions. I mean, I like to think they even themselves out, but I think we could be 6 points better off. But we've done well, and if we win our games in hand, we can go 5th. So
exactly,
that's a massive positive from where we were when we took over. And then we'll see. I mean, I've looked. We've got obviously the game on Saturday against Tring, but prior to that, the London Colney game. Our next 8 games, we set the boys a target because we feel they're 8 games that, I mean, they're winnable. Don't get me wrong, they're losable as well, but they are winnable games. So we set ourselves a target for these 8 games and see where we end up. And if we can put pressure on the 4th place team, who knows? But if we can come 5th, I think that would be a fair. That would be. I think we'd be happy with that.
Cool. I think that's a good assessment. I've just randomly had Rich, funny enough, from Flackwell, send me an Insta pic. I don't know if this will pick it up, guys, but this is fantastic. By Rich. Look at this. He's just done. Can you see that? He's at Bisham Abbey, and he's watching this right now.
Oh yeah, Richard Glenn. Yeah, his daughter's training. His daughter's training.
Love that. Yeah. Hi, Rich. From both of us. Thanks for watching. So, Chris, that's obviously recapped on where we are pretty much at the moment in regards to recent form, recent games, league position.
Yeah.
Let's look at you more as a person. So, growing up, or even now, right?
Yeah.
What's your boyhood club, and who is your favourite football player of all time?
Oh, so I'll get some stick for this, but I'm a Leeds fan, big Leeds fan, always have been.
There always has to be one.
Yeah. There's a few more than one, but I'm a Leeds fan. My dad's side of the family from Leeds, and I was brought up to support Leeds, and I've stuck with them through obviously very thick and very thin. So they've been they're my club. They always are. That's where I am. And player-wise, obviously you have a player at your club that you love when you grow up. And people again will say, not the best of players, but David Batty was my hero.
He was a very hero.
And my other favourite player not the club I think a lot of people can relate to, was Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle was, when I was growing up, was absolutely brilliant. Above his, he was, you know, too, in my opinion, too good for the Football League. You know, he had to go. His intelligence, his football intelligence, was far superior, and he had to go and play abroad. But he was one of my heroes. Yeah, Glenn Hoddle, definitely.
I like that because you know, you couldn't be two very different kinds of players there. One with flair and one that's the sort of grit and determination.
Yeah.
So your playing days, Chris. Let's look back. Okay.
Yeah.
So start us off. Which was your first club?
So I played Flackwell. Heath was actually my first club. So I was 17 at the time. And obviously I lived local, knew Terry Glynn, the chairman, and Terry invited me in. And really got in the first team at 17. Played there with Terry, you know, and with some good players. And then moved on to Marlow. Had the opportunity to go to Marlow. We were in a higher league. Went to Marlow at the time. Fantastic manager, Peter Rhodes Brown, like ex-Chelsea and Oxford. And he unfortunately only spent about 18 months with him, and then he moved on. But we had again a really good side, some young players. And then from Marlow went on to Chalfont St Peter with Kevin Stone. So I went there to Chalfont again. You know, enjoyed my time there. But just stay local, really. Just enjoyed that, playing locally. And like a lot of players in them days, we all used to play on a Sunday as well with our mates. And yeah, so yeah, that was my playing career, and played mainly in midfield as well. So
there we go, guys. Hard grafter. So Chris, I know a bit of an off the cuff one. So who do you think perhaps has had the biggest influence on you in terms of football?
In terms of football, I would say Jeff Warner, especially with my coaching. Jeff's been great. Jeff Warner. A lot of the boys know Jeff in terms of local football. I was with him at Burnham, and he came to us with Burnham, and was at Binfield. I worked with him in my day job, coaching full time at Fab Academy. So I worked with Jeff, and obviously Naz Bashir gave me the opportunity to coach full time. So yeah, and then two people, one that gave me the opportunity and one that helped me within my coaching journey. So definitely those two guys. And obviously Terry, I knew Terry, he gave me an opportunity when I was 17. And now he's given me the opportunity to go back to the club and manage the club, which is very, you know, I won't forget.
I love that. So you've already answered what I potentially had as my next question. It was basically how did the Flackwell job come about? And you just heard it. Look at that, he beat you to the punch.
Yeah, no, I've known the club for a long time. I did the youth team. Go back in four years ago, I did the youth team. We had a really good group of boys, and we won the Allied Counties League Cup with that group.
That's good achievement.
Yeah, very good. Be a very good Maidenhead team who were very good at developing players. And then, I had to move on through work, sort of, in terms of being offered something through work, which changed it a little bit. But then obviously this opportunity arose this year, and I've never really had the urge since leaving Burnham to go into it really. But this was the one job that I thought, yes, knowing that I know the players and I live locally, I know that, you know, the club could really do something with everyone behind them. And yeah, hopefully that will happen.
Nice. Honest assessment there, Chris. So what for you then? Because having that experience of under-18s Allied Counties League football, and obviously first team coach football within adult football, what for you have been perhaps three of the real big differences, obviously managing in step 5?
Yeah, I think one thing that I've that I've always done wherever I've been, even with younger players, is coach. I think even the older players still love to be coached. You know, I don't think there's enough of that around at the minute, and still improve players as well. So I think in terms of it, I've been lucky so far, because I've got to say, with the group and with the club at the minute, there's nothing really in terms of, well, you know, there's nothing I don't like in terms within the club. It's fantastic. You know, you can say some of the pitches you play on, they're not the best, but that's the level you're at. I mean, most clubs have got volunteers, you know, not everyone's got, can pay people to work for the club. So, yeah, I think the levels now, the steps fives, and now you're seeing more younger players, which I think's great. I think that's brilliant. I mean, go back years ago, you wouldn't see many young players, but I think more young players are getting the opportunity, and I think the level of coaching is getting better as well.
I like that. So, Chris, in terms of management, obviously this is your first season.
Yeah.
At Flackwell, and obviously in non-league. So, for you, what are perhaps your likes and your dislikes of managing in non-league football?
So probably at the minute, dislikes in terms of managing. I think sometimes the game, especially with our group being a younger group, I think sometimes the boys can be opposition teams will use a referee to influence people, and I get that goes on in the Premier League, and sometimes it can be, sometimes I think it oversteps the mark, but the boys have to deal with that. That's, you know, that's life. That happens in all games of football. Sometimes I think with the officiating, I wish sometimes referees and that would be a little bit more, would talk a bit more to you. I know there's one or two that do, and just be a bit more, you know, on the same hymn sheet as you, or as us. But yeah, I think it has changed. I think it's definitely, I think for the better. I think it is getting better. I think the only other thing is, I know I've spoken to Terry about it, is the league we're in terms of the travelling. I mean, we've got, like, right on our doorstep, we've got Windsor, Ascot, Burnham, and we're not in their league. You know, I think we should be in that league. So sometimes the logistics of the leagues you go in is probably not ideal as well. So that would be something that, you know, we'd love to be in the combined counties. I think with the travelling would certainly help the club regards to that, and the players, more local players. So, but positives, yeah, I think it's changing. I think crowds look better. You know, I think the crowds everywhere we go now, we're seeing bigger crowds. Certainly at home now, we're getting a lot more people come through the gate at Flackwell, which I think is brilliant, not just for the first team, the youth team as well. So I think crowds definitely, and I think the standard of play is getting better as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just mentioned crowds increasing in non-league.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you look at the sort of stats, I know that I tend to look at every week, 'cause I'm a bit of a geek like that when it comes to non-league, and you look at how many clubs, the progression in their attendance in the last 2 years, obviously even during COVID and now after COVID, is unreal how they're increasing. How was it? Because obviously you potentially might have been a bit jealous because you didn't have a game on Tuesday, but there were two big local county cup games, weren't there? We have to mention them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You had Concrendon Step 6 taking on Wycombe Wanderers, a crowd of 1904, and then obviously Leighton Town taking on Luton Town, and that crowd was literally just below 900.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable for these non-league clubs, isn't it, to survive?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, and I think our crowds have gone up this season as well, and I think it's good for the boys as well, especially our young group. You know, we had the charity day at home to Arsley where we had 400, and it was amazing. You know, and the boys, you could see the boys at the end. You know, they was like, wow, you know, can we play in front of this crowd every week, or if not more? You know, so yeah, I think it's brilliant, and I think with the cost of what it does now to watch a Premier League game, and is the cost of it is, and I think more people appreciate now supporting their local clubs is important. You know, I definitely see that now happening in Flackwell Heath with all the minors, our Flackwell minors. You know, we're seeing the coaches there, we're seeing the young boys there. I mean, we give a season ticket away to all the young players at Flackwell Heath minors, and they come up with their dads, and it's fantastic. You know, they buy a pint, they buy a burger, you know, and they can relate to the boys, you know.
That is fantastic, because that just highlights what a community club Flackwell really is. And obviously, having been there very recently, just the vibe of being there, you know, around the people that obviously volunteer day in, day out. I mean, like what Rich does for you guys is just mad. He does everything. You know, so big credit to everyone behind the scenes at Flackwell, because clearly it's working, and credit to you, Chris, as manager, and the boys, because obviously the attendance is increasing as well. It shows that people are loving what you guys are doing on the pitch.
Yeah, we you know, we want to try and play the right way as well, but we do understand that there has to be a winning mentality. And yeah, and without everyone behind us, we couldn't do that. You know, I've got Joe, who does the fixtures, our fixture secretary or club secretary. She's amazing. You know, all that gets taken away from me in terms of, you know, even the team sheet. I don't need to worry about the team sheets. You know, she'll message me to say, oh, you've got this player on 4 yellow cards, just making you aware.
Brilliant.
But it's just, yeah, it's fantastic. And her husband and Steve, who do the kit, fantastic, all the kits there. You know, it's just things that are taken care of, and we don't need to just worry about the focus on the team on match days, you know.
Nice one. So for you, Chris, because obviously everyone in non-league, I'm sure, would love to do it full time, but obviously it's not the case. But so for you, what does your average week look like in terms of with work, and then with obviously being manager at Flackwell?
Yeah, so obviously I coach full time for a living, so in that respect, I'm very lucky. I do appreciate what I do. So yeah, I do get spare time to plan, and we will, if we don't play in the week, we'll train on a Tuesday and Thursday evening. We've got a fantastic training facility at the college in the village, again, nice and local, which is great. So we train twice a week, and myself, Paul and Keith, we get together and plan really what we want to do for the week. We have the videos, we have the games videoed, the home games. So if there's stuff that we need to look at or to work on, you know, I'll take a bit of time in having a look at things, and then we can relay that to the boys on a Thursday evening. So yeah, I sometimes, I know it sounds mad, but sometimes I do get a bit footballed out, because I'm out every night doing football. So sometimes, you know, in the day it's quite nice to have Sunday's my day of rest. Sunday is like literally no football apart from 4 o'clock, the live game on Sky. But yeah, so you need some downtime. But yeah, no, I enjoy it. I'm lucky. I'm lucky with my job. I can coach, and I get enough time to plan stuff. And the boys have been great since we've been in training. Their attendance at training has been fantastic. You can see them. They want to come. They want to learn, and they want to get better.
Cool. So Chris, every manager's different at this. Obviously, it does depend on the level of the club as well. So, do you find at Flackwell you're literally manager of the first team and that's it, or do you find there are other off the field things at the club that you do get involved in?
Yeah, not so much really. I mean, I do have got a good relationship with the reserve team manager Luke, and then Richard, Sam, who do the youth team. I've made that something that we wanted to do from the beginning. I think it's important to have a relationship between the three sides that are at the club, because being that we are going to be we want to bring young players through, it's very important to have that relationship. And so every Thursday I'll have some dialogue with Luke. If we've got within our squad, if we've got boys available to play for the reserves, then that's what they go and do. Or boys coming back from injury. The group understand that that's the way we want to go forward. And then the youth team, again, if they've got any boys, like we just had Jack come from who's 16, he trains with us, but obviously still plays for them. I think he's playing for them tonight. They've got a league game at home to Hamwell. So Jack will play for them tonight. But also, yeah, have that dialogue with Rich. And then I think 2 weeks ago, it's quite difficult because we train on a Thursday, but we managed to squeeze in an early training session. And then I said to the boys, right, we'll go and watch the youth team play. Because I think that's important as well, that they see the boys there. Oh, look, the first team are here watching. I think that gives them that, that pathway through to the reserves and first team.
To be honest, there should even be more of that anyway, Chris. Because that just highlights the whole one club philosophy, doesn't it? Of what you're trying to establish at Flackwell. So hats off to you. That's lovely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your captain, because I know he's watching. Jamie, give us a wave.
Is he turning up for training tonight?
Well, that's a question, isn't it?
Sure he is.
So was it a no-brainer making Essex captain of the team?
So obviously when I come in, I didn't know Jamie. I got a good one of my close mates knows him well, does work with him, and he used to say about him, he's just said he's not training.
No, I've just seen that. He's been great. He's been great with the young players. In terms of on the pitch, off the pitch. And when we came in, he was a leader on the pitch, which is great. So I can't, in terms of the way he's been with everyone, he's been great, and certainly for us, he's one player that we really want to keep hold of. I know we had a 7-dayer from Binfield come in, but he didn't want to go. He wanted to stay with us and stay with us and carry on doing what we're doing, trying to move forward in the right direction. So he's been great. We put him up front for a couple of games as well, which he did well in, just to give us a bit more presence. So he's got one more game. So this has been the problem with the games being off. He's unfortunately had to sit and miss a bit longer than he wanted. But he's back training now. So hopefully after Saturday we'll get him back in. Cool. There you go, Essex. The manager showed you some love tonight, but you are going to have to go to training. That's a no-brainer. So, obviously, every manager needs their own backroom team. So, Chris, who are your guys? And what are their sort of roles and responsibilities at Flackwell?
So I've got Paul Shone. I've known Paul, grown up with him, known Paul a long, long time. And I was with Paul at Burnham. And I trust Paul. 100%, which is, I think, it's a major thing. We get on really well. We think the same things, which is great. And we're very, open to each other in terms of our ideas. Paul's great in terms of local knowledge with the players, certainly with the sort of older players. He's been successful at Flackwell before, so he's got a great knowledge of players, managers. He's great, when we have opposition, he'll speak to a manager and find out about what other opposition are like, what they do. So Paul's great. Then we've got Keith Ryan, obviously. Keith, he's Wickham legend. Keith, he's been there, but he lives in the village as well, like Paul. We're village people. We're local. We live in the village. We know what it's about. And Keith's great with the players. He joins in now and again, which is great because he's a great competitor and he wants to win. And we were training on Tuesday night, and he was doing a possession game, and he went flying into one of the players. But that's that winning mentality he's got, but he's great with the players. Really good with the players. And also Tom Large, got Thomas, Thomas has been at the club for a while. He does a lot of things on match day, behind the scenes for us, the things that don't get done. He does the goalkeeping on a Thursday night. So that's the group. And Stacey, my physio, she's fantastic. Without Stacey, it wouldn't run. She'll be up there now as I'm speaking. She's up at the college running her clinic. So the boys get slots to go and train, and then obviously go and see her and get their treatment. So really good team behind me.
Yeah, that's quite a big team as well, and I love the fact that you've given love to the physio, because that is something that is so, I think, underestimated in non-league football. Because a physio, as the players will tell you, they need a physio at the club.
Yeah, definitely. She does all the cool downs as well at the end, so fantastic. Yeah, she's brilliant. Stacey's fantastic.
Nice one. So, Chris, obviously, first season at Flackwell. Perhaps it is a bit early to be looking too far ahead, but you must have a dream in regards to personal objectives going forward. What are they?
Well, for the team, I mean, we want to try and finish the season as well as we can. We're still in 2 cup competitions, so it will be. It'd be great if we could get to a final. I think that'd be a great way to end the season. And if we can come, like we spoke earlier, if we can come in the top 5, and then we'll, go again pre-season. We'll make sure we have a really hard pre-season, and be ready to go. And we plan on bringing 1 or 2 in that will enhance the group in terms of experience. We feel that the young players now, we've got a great group of young players. The problem will be hanging on to them, but that's life. If someone gets a chance to move on and go and play in step 2 or step 3, we won't stand in their way, or even higher. But next year we want to be closer to the top next year. That's certainly our aim. And yeah, we'll see. But that's certainly the aim. I think the group they've seen it now. They're capable of doing it. And then a year on, the younger boys get more experienced. And yeah, so if we bring 1 or 2 in, we'll see. And we want to have a better run in the Vars this year, because we only had 1 game in it this year.
There we go, people. That's the future in Chris's eyes, anyway. Looks like well. So let's finish off. Right. Next game. It is on the road. I'm sure, people, as they tend to before games, they do tend to look at the league table, don't they? And go, oh, okay, they're towards the bottom, which means that's perhaps an automatic win. But I think you and I, and many of the players know, when you're playing sort of step 5, step 4 and above, those games, they're not gimmies, are they?
No. I mean, we played them at home. They just had a new gaffer come in just after he came in just before we played them at home a few weeks back. And they're a good side. They passed it well. One of the sort of few sides that try and get it down and play. So yeah, and it was a 1-1, 1-1 result. So yeah, we'll be confident. We're desperate to play. They didn't have a great result last week at New Salamis, so hopefully we can maybe take advantage of that. But like every game in this league, every game's tough. I know it sounds, but it is.
It's true.
It is. There's no gimmies in this league. Normally when you play 2 or 3 of the bottom sides, you've won before you play, but certainly that's not the case in this league. So yeah, we'd like to start a really good run, I said, over the next 7 to 8 games, and hopefully that will continue on Saturday.
What's the sort of squad news going into that game at the moment, Chris? Have you got pretty much everyone available to you?
No, so we've got Jamie Essex has got 1 more game left with suspension. Aidan Higgs is still carrying COVID, unfortunately. He's still testing positive. And then we've got Sam Coles is not quite back, but apart from that, we've got a clean bill of health. So we've got a good size squad to pick from for Saturday.
Cool. And where do you think the potential key battles are going to be in that game against Bulldog? Having, as you said, 1-1 earlier on in the season. Yeah,
they I think midfield, they had a couple of lads in midfield that were very bright and good on the ball. I think we're going to have to, for us, stop them playing. I thought we was a little bit too, I think maybe our mentality was, where they were in the league and their run of results, we were a little bit not as energetic and as we could be. So certainly Saturday will be a bit more in and around them, in their faces, and stop them playing and use our energy and our part of our game where we're good at. And, you know, but they're a threat. The centre forward is very good. So again, stopping the service into him. But yeah, so hopefully we can achieve that on Saturday.
And obviously you're hoping for lots of goals. And then I know I was messaging you earlier. So at the moment, the top scorer for you guys this season is Fabian. Is that right, Fabian?
Yeah, Fabian Driffle. Yeah, he's got 15. Yeah, he's a good lad, done really well. There's still loads of room for improvement from him. We myself, Paul and Keith spoke to him, you know, in terms of his all-round game. Certainly he's capable of playing a lot higher level. He's a natural goal scorer, and it's something that we want to help him with, develop his game. And if he can move on and play at a higher level, great. But while he's with us, you know, we want him sort of, you know, scoring more goals. And I think if he adds extra bits to his game, then he'll score more goals. And yeah, he'll kick on. But he's in front of goal, fantastic. You know, normally you put him in front of goal, he'll certainly hit the target, if not score.
Cool. Well, hopefully he'll perhaps get on the score sheet this weekend. Let's hope.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. There was just one other thing I forgot to mention. I'll get told off if I don't.
Cool.
Is mentioned, obviously, I had it in my thing. So the one big part of the club moving forward has been the Flackwell Heath Miners as well. They're a massive part of what we're doing. Myself, Paul, we've been coaches at the Miners over the years, and there's a great connection now with us and Declan Breen, the chairman. They're now bringing people into the club. Or like I said earlier, all the young players, and that's a big part of the club moving forward, being with the Flackwell Heath Miners. And they've been fantastic in their support, especially since myself and Paul and Keith have been there, because they can relate to the players. And certainly with the players in the first team now, I think 11 of them came through the Miners, which is fantastic, you know, which is massive for the club, you know. So yeah, so I needed to get that in, otherwise Deck would have been on base.
To be honest, Chris, that is a lovely way to finish, because that just highlights you as a manager and Flackwell as a club, and I hope everyone watching will agree with that. So I'm mindful, Chris, we're pretty much bang on about 38 minutes. I think we've had a good run tonight. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching, obviously, tonight. And a massive thank you to you, Chris, for giving up your time midweek, you know, to do this.
No problem.
Thank you. We're going to be in touch anyway, as always. And hopefully before the end of the season, I can find the time to come watch another Flackwell game anyway.
Right. That'd be fantastic, Carl. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
No, pleasure. And good luck. Good luck for the weekend, Flackwell.
Cheers. Thanks, Carl. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Thank you, Chris. Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.